This is my second time presenting. I'm presenting with my partner, Karl, who's kind of coming into the side and will join us. I am a teaching artist and like a community artist. I work for many organizations, including LA County Museum of Art, Skirball, Otis School of Art and Design, LAUSD, Santa Monica, Malibu USD, many organizations. And this is something that if you guys know artists, like this is something that we do. We have a lot of different places where we teach as teaching artists. So today, so this is the second time. The first time we had the whole time hands-on activity. And today, what I'm thinking of, we will have a hands-on activity. Ooh, I have a bird coming in on my head. We have a hands-on activity. And for you, that's kind of simple, but it's really fun. And then I'm going to show you what I did for kind of like the main bulk of this hour, that what we worked on last time. So I didn't give you a supply list or anything, and I often don't, although I find that parents or participants often want a supply list. The reason why, so I do give like a very vague supply list, but then because I like to do scavenger hunts with everyone. So the first thing I was going to ask you guys is, I'm going to show you a box and ask you, do you guys have a box? Do you guys have a box? And then if you have a box, you can give me thumbs up, or you can give me thumbs up in the chat. You can give me a thumbs up in a chat. And I usually like if I get 2 or 3, I'm happy, right? So so for this project, when we transitioned to online, and a lot of families were not ready with art supplies, we created tinkering boxes. And here's my title for that, a tinkering box. And then a tinkering box is literally, or you can call it a treasure box or an art box, is a box that has all your things that you need for working every day with hands-on, right? So I'm just gonna go through it, and then you guys can imagine being in reverse, right? So I do have my scissors here and the pencil. I have a marker, some tape. I have a potato print with my initials on it because that's just something I have, with a red pen to go with it. So I do have some crayons. Now, you might think that this is just for kids, but it's not. Like I have I have my X-Acto blade here. And now most of the other things, well, here I have matcha tea from which I make beautiful green paint. I have some weird model magic, but I don't know where it came from. I was thinking of mixing it with matcha to get green model magic. I have some instant coffee. And I heard, at first I was like, well, maybe people will not have instant coffee, so I don't know. But I heard that this is really popular because of the sugar and instant coffee whip that is all the rage on TikTok. And then I have some, random things that you find in your, when you start raiding your house. So this activity here, I call a treasure hunt, and where we go around and we find these things. Now, I do this treasure hunt, but sometimes it is challenging with families who live in a tight quarters or an apartment to have kids go around during the lesson and find these things. But so it is totally fine to send a treasure hunt, kind of like a treasure hunt. I mean, I just send like a little list with a picture what you could find, and then they can do it prior to the to class. So I don't know. So I have all these kind of really cool things, and you might think like, well, what do you make with this? Like, I literally use everything in this box every day. And so it's like on my desk and I use it every day. I'm going to screen share my Padlet with you guys, and I want to show you some videos that I made. And the interesting thing about this whole situation is there are a lot of skills that we can actually bring into the situation. And then so just if you think about like, well, like just all your experience with media, all your experience with like photography, you know, anything that you did as a child, you can all bring this in to this. So I'm going to screen share my Padlet. I'm just going to expand it. And so just to show you all the videos that I've been making for my classrooms. And if you guys have any questions, you can just unmute and ask me. I don't mind. So here's my Padlet that I share with my classes, you know, and some of them are made for like various organizations. So the treasure box video that I made, that we made here with Karl, you know, you can click on it, and I'll actually post the link to this if you guys are interested. I have various things that I've made. You know, there's a tutorial on how to make your own color paper. There is, you know, how to make a scroll, etc. So, and then the one last thing that I added to this, which was like fascinating, was I added a video that I filmed 10 years ago of a project, and I thought it was so great for right now. So I added that right there. I find Padlet to be easy and friendly and really great way to just post, you know, visual material for families. So one of the things that I hear constantly from teachers is that that they want pre-recorded content because there is a huge amount of burnout. And I think every session that I attended, people, you know, talked about that it's really great to actually post lessons that kids can do, you know, have a choice of time. And that goes for art lessons as well. So what I'd like to do is I'm going to show you my treasure box video. Now the treasure box we created in the beginning of the social distancing, again, because most people did not have anything on hand to make stuff with. People since have ordered art supplies for kids and themselves, etc., etc. But even to this day, if I go in and ask people if they have a piece of paper or a pair of scissors, you know, like that is probably the most people will have. Like they'll have a piece of paper, they'll have a pair of scissors, they'll have some coloring stuff, and they'll have some tape, and that's it. But anyway, here's a treasure box video, and enjoy. It's, let's see how many, it's 5 minutes. And you see Karl's hands in there. Karl, you want to float in? Say hi.
Thank you.
There's like room noise, right?
Right.
So we record about 2 videos per, we record 2 videos per week. I have schools that regularly, so I provide videos to, like, let's say if I have a school on Wednesday, I provide pre-recorded stuff for those schools on Wednesday. So we regularly record videos together. We also record for organizations. for LACMA, for, this is the Rediscover Center, who are amazing creative reuse organization and tinkering organization. We record a lot of videos for them. We love the whole principle of creative reuse. I think that, you know, now that we spend so much time around our household, that we are like hyper aware of what's in our house that needs to be, you know, upcycled, or, you know, some families, by the way, have nothing because they really want to keep a very clean, very kind of a, you know, like very clean house. Not clean, I would say organized, very well organized house. So this was actually a popular project for everyone. The adults liked it because it sort of gave you this feeling of control, and of things that you could do with all the things, you know, that are around. And I've had a lot of folks who've made these and kept them, and only recently, like I guess whatever this week is I don't know, only recently do I see kids starting to have boxes of art supplies that were ordered probably from a store, but up to now, everybody that I worked with like made one of these for them. And so you can have different types of treasure boxes, and you can call them whatever box you want. So you can have a you know, art box, you can have a tinkering box that has tools. You can have like a sketch box where you have some kind of a handmade sketchbook. You can have a box that is like a poetry box. I'm working on one now, I'll share with you. You can have, you know, so these are great. Also, the mission of Rediscover Center, for example, is to really come up with interesting, so it's like very much design think as well. I think we had a Smithsonian design lab here at the Institute, and of course design think is a big deal, and I use this all the time even though I teach art. Just sort of idea, what is the purpose for this? Also, these boxes can be made for someone in your family. The great thing about you working this way is that you can make mistakes. Like Karl right now is redoing some things that he, you know, he's showing you how to redo this. So as you could tell, like, you know, everything he's using have been sourced from your, you know, whatever kitchen or, you know, recyclable stash, whatever it is. And so this being one of the first videos we've made, I now include narration to all my videos so that, you know, people can have more of a clarity on the steps. We also experimented with different types of videography and editing to see what is more. So now you could tell that he's actually putting and, you know, loading his things into the treasure box, packing all his stuff in there, and yeah. Sometimes I'm just going to reach into my closet. Great. So, so sometimes kids will ask me, like, okay, so like I show them things that I do make using my treasure box, like this very cool fishing vessel from Fiji that was based on the LACMA exhibition, Art of Fiji, that I did with one of the educators there. And I used everything from my treasure box, and of course a brown shopping bag, but I've used, you know, the sticks and everything like that. Let's see, what's the time? I'm going to put back in, I'm going to talk about my activity that we're going to do today. that I found to be incredibly useful. If I have a minute, I'll show you, I'll share my poetry box with you. So my activity, I'm gonna spotlight my face for a minute. And what I often do is we all search around for reactions. So I decided to make these reaction sticks. And here's my thumbs up. And here's my hand up. And here is my face, like I'm not sure what's going on. So, so you guys, I'm going to show you how to do these, and I found these incredibly useful for my Zoom environment with anyone, you know, and it's a great way to have kids communicate, adults do. I love it. So I'm just going to show you how I'm going to do this, and then we can all try them out. So what I usually do is I get a piece of paper, and I happen to have like a piece of cardstock. If you don't have a piece of cardstock, you might have a product box, such as I showed you before, like this. So what I do is I find like where the product box is, and I just open it up like this, like that. And if I'm going to do it on my cardstock that I have, but you are welcome to do it on any kind of a cardboardy thing that you have. So my two smiley faces, or my smiley face and I don't know what's going on face, are traced with a piece of tape. And I'm going to open my treasure box, my art box, take out my marker, make two circles, 1 and 2. And you guys are welcome to do this with me. And then make two a smiley face. And now, can anybody like think of what else, what other kind of reactions or emojis that would be fun to have that they wish they had on hand? And by the way, this is a random marker. I have no idea, but it's just nice and thick. Anybody else have any kind of emoji wish on the stick that they had? You guys can unmute yourself and tell me. Don't be shy. So
a sad face might apply.
Oh, did you guys, are you guys putting in a chat or?
I always wish I had a nauseated emoji.
Yeah, like throw up emoji, sure.
Yeah, like people post things all the time and I just want to puke.
Yeah. Well, these are actually, so that's a good point. You know, when you're in the Zoom environment, you want to keep things positive. So as you could tell, I don't have a puke face. I just have like, not sure face. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to be, I don't want to let, like, you know, I understand if somebody wants to make like a poop emoji, fine. But I think like, you know, keeping it sort of positive is a good thing. So I'm just taking a yellow crayon. I'm going to go ahead and color this in yellow. I'm hoping that you guys are all making this because I want to use them with us today. And I will share that Padlet with you. You guys can look at the videos we're making. It's just a fraction of what we actually made. Some of the things I just posted, the ones that kind of were the most obvious. And if you guys have any questions while I'm coloring, you can totally go ahead and ask me. I do take a body break, and this body break is either, you know, me saying let's move or putting on a little movement video. And I'm gonna share with you what I really, the movement videos that were my favorite recently. Yeah, Karl is gonna cut these out for me. So Karl's gonna cut these out for me, and I'm going to actually show you how to make a thumbs up and a hand as well. So I'm gonna get another, this is really, really challenging. This is very hard. This is the hardest part. You're gonna fold a piece of paper. I'm just kidding, I'm saying it's hard ones. And so you have two, right? One for thumbs up. Anybody can guess what am I going to do right now? Do you guys have any idea? What am I doing? What am I gonna do? How am I gonna get this made? Any idea of how am I going to do this?
Trace
You
your
can
hand.
unmute yourself and tell me.
Trace your hand.
Trace your hand, which is really cool. Like you can, you know, I'm tracing it with a marker, but you can do it with a pencil so you don't draw on your hand. I'm doing it with a marker, and Sharpie is totally fine. This is just a fancy marker I had lying around. Couldn't find a Sharpie. You can trace your hand. And of course, this part we understand really well, and that is tracing our hand this way. But then like you'll be like, oh, how do I trace my thumbs up hand? So I just make thumbs up, just like this, make thumbs up. And I trace my thumbs up hand. And I wasn't sure if I was gonna put the fingers on it. I might, what do you think, Karl? Should I put the fingers on there? Would you?
Well, I think it looks like that.
Would you put the fingers on your hand or no?
I think it's good to put the fingers.
Okay, Karl thinks it's good to put the fingers on. And I just wanted to say that Karl is my collaborator in all of these kind of things. He teaches high school level, but basically very similar things for similar organizations. And we're both visual artists on top of it all, where we make art. So you can leave your hand like this, but if you add some fingers in here, I really think that's kind of good to add some fingers. What do you think, Karl? Is it good to add some fingers? It looks kind of better, like, right? More friendly. So go ahead. Did I hear somebody? And now you could do this, you know, with your phenotype, but I find yellow is pretty fun. You can also do them in green, in whatever color you want, whatever stands out to you. Whatever stands out to you. And meanwhile I'm coloring, I'm gonna talk to you guys about a little bit more about making these videos. So I've been using my iPhone to record the videos. It's been working out pretty well. Thankfully, I have a pretty, you know, newish iPhone. Like Karl has a 5, which is not very new, not so great. Mine is a little newer. So, you know, I've been pretty happy with it, but one of the biggest advantages of recording tutorials with your, you know, iPhone or whatever phone device is that you can just pop it into your computer, like by sharing it. Like pop it in and share it. And so yeah, pop it in and share it. Here it is. Here's my hand. So I'm going to hand this to Karl to cut out, and I'm going to show you how we can attach these. And of course, I'm going to find my really cool pencil case, which tutorial for this pencil case is available on my Padlet. It's a pencil case made out of a bottle. Very cool. So I'm just reaching into my pencil case. I have some pencils here that I don't really use. Or you could just reach into your pencil jar or whatever and get some, you know, like these ones, this one is attached to a
Do we have any of the-
paintbrush. So I'm just gonna attach this to some pencils. Yeah, pencils are better. Yeah. Karl has suggested that I have these skewers, barbecue skewers. And you know, like
Yeah, the point, yeah.
People might not have these, right? So we're trying to kind of be resourceful, which is what it's all about. And so now I'm going to just attach them to regular pencils, like whatever you have. Like literally, you can attach it to whatever you want.
Stick.
No, I think it's good to attach it to, like, you know, things from your. So that's an interesting point. I mean, you can get funny. I have my friends who are storytellers. They actually, or a friend who's teller in Los Angeles. Her name is Karen Golden. She had sent templates of finger puppets to the kids so that they can cut them out. She send them through the mail. Of course, you can also just send them a PDF, and you can send kids PDF for these as well. I mean, that would be kind of fun, right? So the kids can they can print these out themselves. Like, so you can do that. I mean, I think tracing your hand is really fun. So she sends finger puppets to her kids for interactive aspect. Now, what happens a lot with like 5 through 2 is that they co-work with their siblings, and sometimes the relationship between siblings is not the best for that. I've been also the remote connection for some families, especially if they live in the apartment building or in the canyons or whatever they are. So the remote connection may be not great. So I started filming my lessons. I mean, I started screen recording my lessons. I wasn't doing it before, but I did start. But I did start doing that. I did start recording my lessons. So maybe we can practice doing these. You guys can give me thumbs up if you have at least one of these made. And I know that I work quick, and there's 2 of us. Yay. Oh, I was gonna say, if you have a cardboard, because it's gray, you could get, I think there is Crayola that you can color on the cardboard. So there's like a special type of Crayola. I actually haven't tested it out. Like, my Crayola looks pretty good, pretty yellow. So if you have you know, your cardboard, your cardboard things, you guys can if you have your cardboard emojis, you can color them with your crayons anyway. It will work. Some of the other ways that you can break the screen barrier or break the box is to interact inside your Zoom cubicles. In my experience, it takes a while for kids to become comfortable with each other in Zoom environment. But once they're comfortable, you can invite them to interact about anything they want, share anything they want. So I always leave 15 minutes at the end of class for kids to interact with each other. And you can either facilitate that, or you could, you know, make a kid a host, which is what I do. I make somebody the host, or a co-host, and they're able to then kind of conduct the meeting. Of course, if it's a giant classroom, I usually have 2 adults there besides me to help out with that. Then the other thing is, I wanted to say is like, when I finish my lesson, I am the last one to leave. So I wait for all my kids to sign off. So I go through each name and I, make sure they sign off. One of the things that I notice when I'm in the environment with a classroom teacher is the classroom teacher will often talk about to the kids about their workplace. So one of the examples that I heard the teacher say would be like, oh, Emily, I see that you're not at your regular workplace workstation. I forgot how he was calling it. How are you doing? I'm so happy to see you. So making those small connections and like noticing the different things that are maybe in a child's environment is really important. On the other hand, a lot of families feel their privacy being violated by the Zoom being on. So you'll see a lot of kids with with screens off. And, even though like it's great to have them check in, it's sort of like you have to just accept that, and hopefully you can get like a verbal response or, So let me see. What do you guys think? Can you hold up something? Yeah. Can anybody tell me what else you think that might be great for this? So I'm going to play a game. Karl is actually is going to show a crown that he made. So do you want to put that on? So Karl is showing off. Can you get closer? I want to spotlight my. So Karl had. Wait, can you can you back up so you're too big, like there. Yeah, you can sit down.
Yeah, sit down. I'll sit down on the ground.
So, so this was a project, one of the projects that, can you sit back down? Okay, this was one of the projects that Karl did it was sort of like a friendly competition. It was a side-by-side split screen. 2 facilitators created these headpieces from one sketch.
One sketch, yeah.
So they made 1 sketch and 2 people had to interpret it. So this was Karl's interpretation of the same project. And so I'm going to actually, yeah, so that was it. One of my thoughts from listening to folks in the other ones is that, not all of us are performers. I have coworkers, friends, visual artists who do not want to be on camera and who are really forced into this. It is difficult to them. They're not into doing the recordings or being performers. So slowly, and there's some people who don't even use social media because they're not comfortable. So, so on the teacher side, we're slowly becoming comfortable. And one of the things that like was helpful was when my my coworker, my friend, coworker and friend for many, many years said, oh, Brady Bunch. I was like, oh, I never thought about that. And Brady Bunch, that this is like Brady Bunch. So for this next activity, I'd like to pass an emoji to you guys, and you can turn it to any emoji or any object. And the way that I'm going to do it is I'm going to just call the name of the person next to me, and then I'm going to pass something to them. And it's going to disappear off the screen. Oops. And then you guys go ahead and grab it. All right. So Susan, I'm going to pass something to you, and then you can make it into anything you want. Let's do it again. Are you ready? and then you hold up whatever. All right. Oh, a big question mark. So Susan, if you would unmute, you guys have to unmute yourself so you can
sorry
tell
about that.
you're passing it to.
Okay. I'm going to pass it to Karen. But I'm going to pass it to Valerie because Valerie's video is showing.
Okay. So pass, where are you?
I'm right here.
Oh, so you have the question mark?
Yeah.
Okay. See it?
You have to name the person you're passing it to. Obviously, people are like not on. Then
I'll
I guess
pass this to Roberto.
I couldn't really hear it. Can you
Oh,
say the name again?
pass it to Roberto Batista.
Is that a C's lollipop? Ah, hit my weak spot.
All right.
I'm gonna pass you this box that I made in wood shop in 8th grade.
Nice.
It's still alive 50 years later. I want to pass it on to Julianna.
Okay. Did you pass it to me already?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, can we do it again? I'm sorry. So you have to kind of float it out of screen. Yeah, and then I will put it in. Oh, I have a big giant mountain. A big mountain rock that I've been cherishing. It's been on my table because it looks just like the rock at LACMA, the giant rock sculpture. So I'm going to pass it to Marisa? Okay. Let's pass it to Marisa. Here we go. This is Marisa?
Yes.
Marisa, it's coming to you, the big giant rock. I don't think she does. Do you see it? Okay. Never mind. Sarah or Valerie. Oh wait, no, Sarah, right? Sarah, here comes the big rock for you.
Awesome, I'm receiving it. I don't have much around me, but I do have this eyeliner.
Woo!
And because makeup can be art too, you know?
Yeah.
And actually makeup is how I learned how to do self-portraits because I was like, oh, you put your contour so you shade.
Absolutely. I agree.
Yes. All right, I am passing mine to, let's see, Regina.
Ooh.
Oh, Regina, you're muted.
Sorry about that. I have a pair of sunglasses. And let's see. Should I pass to somebody who's off or on?
Well, I don't know if they're going to turn on, so let's just pass it to friends who have their videos on. And I can only see a limited amount of friends, so obviously, like if we scroll, maybe we can pass it to.
Right. Susan, can I pass to you, Susan? Here you
Yes,
go.
you can. Oh, got it. I still learning the passing and giving, but I've got tape here, and I will pass it to Julianna. Here you go.
Oh, it turned into a beautiful hawk feather that I really, really enjoyed looking at. I had great time teaching kids how to make their own feathers, which, you know, based on this hawk feather, and we got to talk about science and drag and lift in the wings. So I'm very, you know, excited about this feather. So I'm going to pass it to Charlene and then ask Charlene, how are we doing?
You're doing great, Juliana. I take your feather, I accept your feather, and I raise my, you can't see it very well.
Kombucha? Is it kombucha?
It's a bottle of kombucha, yes. And so that gives me energy, but it's also reusable, right? I can make it into a flower vase or a pencil holder or something afterwards. So we've got 10 more minutes, Juliana, if you have other things you would like to do.
Yeah, so so I know that, you know, I was kind of fast at making these emojis, and maybe, you know, people needed a minute or so. So you guys can finish these up. I find this really useful. I'm going to pin my desktop, and I'm going to show you a couple of other boxes that I've made. So, there we go. Karl is going to put back his hat. So I'm going to show you, can you reach me that big box? I'm going to show you some, actually I'm going to screen share a project that I've made with many peoples. And that is a landscape. Can you guys see that? Huh? Yeah, you can see it, right? So, so this is a landscape, desktop imaginary landscape. I actually will be doing a tutorial on how to make imaginary landscapes and how to make a drawing from that. I'm going to be doing that next Friday. It's free through Otis to go. So this is just an example. I'm going to show you a box that I've used to create this landscape, and what might you want to have in this box, or and then I'm going to also tell you, every time I do a project, I actually need to every time I do a project, I need to check in with everyone if they have what I planned. Even if I send them a message on supplies, a lot of times people will not have it. And I also have to check in, is it an apartment or, so this box here is a big giant cereal box. It could be any box really. And what I have in here is some things for my landscape. There are certain things for my landscape that I got for my patio, like these beautiful rocks right here. And then I have a green scarf for the earth. I have a blue scarf for the sky. I have a twig for like a tree twig. Now this could be anything. I mean, this is actually just what I had, but you guys can have a lot more. Now I did have this weird AstroTurf sample, which you probably won't have, but that's okay. That's fine. You don't have that, you don't have that. But I was just lucky. When I saw that in my garage, I just was jumping for joy. I have this beautiful piece of Joshua Tree from Joshua Tree. I have, let's see, a couple of animals that I like to use. And these are, I have a box of animals, and then you can make your own animals, of course. I have a little block for a cabin. I have some other stuff here, stuff like this. I'll just leave them in here. I have some more like rocks that I can pile up. Some various like weird things that I've made from just little tiny twigs. Now, if a child or a family, and by the way, I was going to say that a lot of times, especially for younger children, parents would like to set them up with their materials and have like an hour to do whatever they need to do. So it is true that you want them to be active and they want them to, interact, but you have to think about this. Will they need parents' help? So a lot of times I make my activities family friendly, where family can also be excited in doing that. But a lot of times, I have to give them alternatives. I'm going to show you. So I have like other things that would go into my, landscapes. But I wanted to show you another type of a box that I made that I'm working on, which is right now, which is called the poetry box. And the poetry box, I'm just gonna, I know I'll organize this box later. Here you go, Karl. And the poetry box is actually, so this is a work in progress, but I really wanted to, a lot of these come from ideas by kids. So I have one kid who made a box, and his box just contains tons of little books that he made. So this is my poetry box, and it has like a little cloth that was actually a lesson that I did in one of the classrooms when we had a classroom. it's a silk painting lesson that I did with 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. And then say in this box, I have some tops from metal tops from like, you know, jars, from some kind of jars. Like, so, and then this box, I just happen to have these, you know, this poetry here, like, what is it called? The magnetic poetry. But I was thinking, so I was working with this idea. It was very popular toy. I don't know if it's still popular, but for a while, this was like all the rage, like a popular toy. Now, if you don't have the poetry, the magnetic poetry, which mine is like, I swear, must be 20 years old, and it still is magnetic. You know, I also went around and cut out all my product boxes to get like different words out of there. So the way that I was thinking of using a poetry box is kind of, you know, in a random sort of way, where I could just pick some words semi-randomly, you know, I don't know, and put them down there, and also like put them in the middle of this, and you know, they're just like soft gloves, I don't know, soft gloves, and it's almost like you can just reach in and find, you know, just words that may work. So it's a little washed out, can you see? So you guys, so this game I wanted to do to actually then use to make drawings, just like with my virtual imaginary landscape. It is to make drawings or actually write poems. So this is my poetry box, and I would really love to know, like, what kind of things are you doing so that your lessons are a little more interactive and less Google Classroom-y and less, you know. So if anyone has like interesting stuff that they've been doing, or you have questions, you like, let's say you wanted to know how to do things. This is often that happens to me in the actual classroom setting, is teachers give me a lesson and I make an art lesson out of it. So so one of my expertise is how to teach different subjects through the arts. So I can literally take any you know, any lesson and make it into an art lesson or integrate art. So if anyone have questions right now, I guess there's a chat, but I didn't. So you guys can unmute yourself and ask me questions. I'm like totally into it. I'm gonna give you a link to my Padlet so you can watch more of our tutorials. I keep posting things into there, and so one of the things that was, yeah, I think like what we really like is to be able to kind of, you know, break that, you know, dimension right here, and have, you know, when we're working with these things, have kind of a whole world open up, right? So like, instead of feeling, oh, now we're limited, like feeling like, oh, wow, we're really, you know, everything is open. We don't necessarily have to look at tutorial of how to, you know, like a lot of art stuff goes like, okay, do this, this, and that, you know, and I never do that. And it is very, very, usually I have kids share and their work is diverse and, you know, very interesting.
Yeah, you've demonstrated how to make treasure out of trash, right?
Yeah. Well, you know, actually at the Rediscovery Center, we don't even use it trash, because trash is, you know, kind of has this like negative connotation. We always use the word treasure, because, you know, treasure is something that you, not only that you treasure, but you kind of find, right? So it's a found treasure.
Right.
You know, so
Exactly.
yeah, so if anyone has any comments at all, I would love that. I'm growing with this experience as you guys are. And so, you know, and I'm willing to work on any lessons with you guys or share what I have for if you're trying to expand into kind of breaking that little bit of that Zoom barrier with your classrooms.